Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rafecal, and we're going to do something a little different. This is just another kind of game from my childhood that I haven't played in a while that I thought would be fun to show that I'm assuming most people don't know about. I guess I don't know for sure. This is Joe and Mac 2 for Super Nintendo. The original Joe and Mac was, I believe, also for Super Nintendo, or that era, but it's not one I'm super familiar with. I tried it, and I wasn't super impressed. It felt kind of like old school Adventure Island. This one is a little bit more open world. A caveman named Gork came and, oh my, our great crown. I wish there was a text speed option, but there's not. Okay, so we have the village. Say no one's home. And it looks like this is gonna take us right into level 1. So this is a very basic platforming game. There's several levels to it, not a whole lot. There's a little bit of exploration stuff. It is very much it's got that 90s sensibility of, like, I kind of get the vibe that it wanted to be something with a bit of impropriety, but it just didn't actually go the distance on that. By the way, the food, in addition to being able to, like, spit the bones or the seeds, do heal you as well. So yeah, it's got a lot of that little cartoonish humor stuff, and even some, I think cartoonish humor is a good word for it. It has a lot of cartoonish humor to it, but it does not have a lot of, as I realize I just haven't been getting any money, but it's not actually crossing that line in the way that something else like, you know, Earthworm Jim or something might have, which I've never been a big fan of the games that kind of rely on that impropriety to make a point. Like, I was never really into, like, the Nickelodeon stuff as a kid, like Ren and Stimpy or any of that. So Earthworm Jim and some of those others never really appealed to me. And I feel like this is kind of trying to be that without actually being. You just die if you don't? Okay. Good to know. I had forgotten how apparently unforgiving parts of this are. I don't remember the currency being super expensive for the game itself, but there's a bunch of little side stuff you can do with it. And that's actually, once we get past this first level and out to the world map, it's a lot more, I find it to be a lot more interesting, I guess. There we go. But even within this level, there's a lot of cool mechanics, like the fact that you can, like the way that the bones and the seeds get spit out after you take a healing item. The fact that specific enemy types drop those, so like fish and birds and stuff drop the or have a chance to drop those healing items, or the meat healing items, while the human ones drop money. Never completely understood the purpose of this worm thing, because it's kind of annoying platforming, but it doesn't actually accomplish anything. There's no actual threat. Okay, we've got our club upgrade, so we can actually have a little bit of range, which is nice. By the way, this water has a current to it, so we're kind of going against that. Oh, that's right, there's a little hidden piranha here. The chili pepper gives you 3 shots that... Oh, more than 3 shots, apparently. Gives you several shots that basically insta-kill most enemies. Now we get to the first actual... or the first boss area. We do want to make sure we don't die during this, because we'd lose our club upgrade, and that's kind of important. It's very convenient to have. So we... Sweet dreams. We ride the Stegosaurus, and then some jerk bonks it on the head. Chase sequence, some potentially tricky platforming if you actually try and use those little moving platforms. Seriously, don't try and use the moving platforms, they're terrible. And we got the first gem. So this game, I believe there are, yeah, looks like 7 gems. So there's 7 levels, 1 for each gem, plus the last level for the crown. Once you get past, or once you get here to the Tiki Village, it is completely non-linear. You must collect 7 rainbow stones before you face Gork. Oh, my mistake. There's 1 of the stones. I believe, let's see, pterodactyl travel lets you go back, yeah, that lets you go back to the village. You get to peek in at different areas if you want, so we can go, hey, let's look through this telescope. There's Gork's cave. And then there's, let's see, this, I think this is just, yeah. So you can heal yourself in between levels. You can remodel your house, or you can buy flowers, which will let you get a caveman wife. Because you don't heal between levels. I'm just gonna quick go by that because I'm probably gonna be using save states anyway. And if I decide I want to use passwords, then I can. So yeah. Oops. Apparently we're going in this one. I was just trying to show that there's a bunch of different levels at this point. And there's no real order to them. There's definitely a difficulty curve to them, which we are completely bypassing. But there's like a little water level, there's a volcano level, there's an Arctic level. So once again, we get to do there's some cool mechanics with like that catches on, or there's stuff that catches on fire, and then you have to spit water at it. Heck, the fact that you can that you can grab the water the way you can in the first place is really cool. There's some actual variety to the enemies, and they actually have, like, especially for a Super Nintendo game, there's some really good animation to it. There's a lot to the enemy sprites. There's a lot of expression. Okay. So yeah, some of the levels are more platformy, like this. Some of them are more brawl-esque, where you just have kind of a series of enemies you have to fight. Most of them have some sort of hazards involved still, like in this case, obviously the lava. The water one I mentioned, there's again kind of the moving water currents and stuff, and the slowed movement from it. Random chili peppers in the volcano. Because fire, you see. And then animal tracks. Yeah, I like the fact that each level has, or each section has its own little subheading. There's a little bit of difference with the flavor, so each level, despite there only being a few levels, you still get to explore a lot of different areas. Like the first one was very much themed around, I mean, just the platforming aspect. The second one was that had the kind of the rush thing going, or the chase sequence. This one has a little bit more of that exploration where if you look around you can find some additional stuff. Like the hammer, which is the upgraded version of the club. I'm debating if I want to deal with that. I don't think I do. But there's probably, you know what, there's probably going to be another... Okay, we're good. I was just going to say, there's probably going to be another health upgrade. Oh, that was not worth it. Oh well. Okay. Yep, figured there'd be some more meat on the way. Once again, we have another chase sequence leading up to the boss. Dinosaur designs might be a bit lame at times. Great. Yeah, he's really... It's really hard to maneuver right there. Okay. So yeah. I'm just gonna real quick do the I think there's 3 different girls who can give flowers to. And I want to say it's random. Meh. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the gong here one more time. This isn't one that I'm planning on playing through the whole game. I just kind of wanted to do a little show of it, at least. I'll hop into another level just so you can kind of see the differences. So this one's the Deep Tropics, which is it has more fruit. It's got a lot of flying stuff. I'm pretty sure the volcano level I just did is actually supposed to be like one of the last ones you go to. And honestly, I was playing really impatiently on a couple, or with the boss, but it is a challenging game without feeling impossible. The continues are kind of silly because, well, I guess you kind of have the choice between whether you want to, oh, that's right, there's the little flying dinosaur. Yeah, you basically have the choice of the continues of either using your password to just pick back up where you had last gotten a password, or to just continue. But if you don't if you go off your password, you don't get to keep the money. If you continue, you do. That was awful. Forgot about that. I don't remember how to do it. Little aggression attack. Guy comes jumping in out of nowhere. I like the fact, I will say also, I really like the way the controls work. Like when I pushed up to do the club attack up in the air, while I had a seed in my mouth, it doesn't like prevent you from doing the up attack. Watch out, duck. So when I say this was a game from my childhood, this is actually one of the... I think this was actually technically the first Super Nintendo game we owned. Because we actually got the game before the system because the person who had gotten because we didn't basically the system was our big Christmas present, and we got this game from somebody else who knew we were getting it, but I don't know. Anyway, we opened the game before we had the system, and so this is technically the first Super Nintendo game I ever owned. And it has a little spot of nostalgia. I know it's not a great game, like objectively, but I feel like it has a lot of redeeming qualities that you might not expect, I guess. Mostly in how the controls are really clean. It's got a lot of cool ideas that it implements. The graphics, especially the actual human enemies, have a lot of expression to them and a lot of good animation. It's got a good difficulty curve, as you saw with the with the fire level. And yeah, I genuinely think it is a fun game. It's worth playing. You've seen three levels out of the 6-ish. Yeah. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of it. If you would like to see more of this, definitely let me know, and I will consider playing some more of it. And I would definitely say if you enjoy this type of game, if you like old platformers, this is a good one that a lot of people might not know about. Oh, I forgot. And see, now I've got some carpets and a picture on the wall. Yeah. The coins are mostly silly, but I like the fact that it has it there, and there's some neat ideas with it. Again, it's fun to have little things that you can do in the background in a game like this, which otherwise wouldn't have. I mean, otherwise it's basically, you know, the typical Mario thing of, you know, go to the levels, get the MacGuffins, move on, save the princess. So yeah. Hopefully you're enjoying. If you are, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one.